Let's go. Get up. It's that club, baby. You hear that? You can't sit down to that. Okay.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy, Shigluch, LOXD Block, Silverback. Hey, yo, right now I need to shout out the ISUPK classes.
I want to give a huge, big, humongous shout out to all the UPK schools.
Shout out to Black Watch, hosted by General Johanna. Word, I need y'all to check out Cross the Line Radio as well, man. They've been open all week from 7 to 9. They ain't shut down because of the corona, the COVID and all that. They rockin' strong, you know what I mean?
Think we got a problem, but really it ain't though. It's one of me and these bitches, I count about 3, 4. Think we got a problem, but homie just all talk. He ain't gon' pop a balloon with a pitchfork. Nah, think we got a problem in the club with this dog. Rude boys, dogs, ladies, everybody.
Yeah. With the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Johanna. This is the Tuesday night Brotherhood class being hosted right here in Wilmington, Delaware. That's 1232 North King Street. Again, that's 1232 North King Street. That's where we located, man. There's no reason why you shouldn't have your butt in class. I'm Officer 5000 Mataza Pa. I have the helm tonight for tonight's Brotherhood class. And so we're going to start the class off, right? We're going to start it off with any questions, right? If there's any questions in the chat, of course, type them in. We'll go ahead and get to your questions. If any brother has a question in here, of course, raise your hand. We'll get to you. Or if you have, if you want to chime in, then it's customary for us to raise our hand and then the teacher will call it. All right? We don't want to blurt out or anything like that because we want to make sure that we running everything in decency and order. Ain't that what Paul said?
That's right.
Paul said make sure everything is in decency and in order, man. So, we have things put in place like that so we don't have students talking over the teacher or vice versa. So,
right.
All right. To start it off, right, this brother right here, the brother Will had a question about death. You was explaining, or if you could, can you get a brother, if you don't mind, if you know what I'm saying, if you don't mind, telling everybody what happened at it. Don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, last night around 10 o'clock, 10:30, my little cousin was shot and killed. He was murdered. Mm-hmm. And, we got the call probably around probably 1:30 in the morning. Right. You know what I mean? From my sister. So,
right.
And,
and that's sad, man. And that's sad. It's like, what's going on? How old was the brother?
I think he just turned 21.
All right, that's young, man.
Yeah.
Young, all right, 21. Okay, you're allowed to, you can get out the house at 21. You're a grown man at 21. You're considered a grown man.
Right.
At 21, you can buy cigarettes and all that, right? Right. But to me, man, you're still a baby, man. Mm-hmm. You still a baby. Like 21, you ain't really did nothing. You ain't really experienced nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You might have done a few things. You might have went out of town a couple times, but you haven't really got the full experience of life, outside of being underneath of your parents.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's sad to say that happens a lot in the Black community, right? It happens a lot in the Black community, and it's something that we have to. It's the reason why we have these classes every Tuesday, mm-hmm. right? It's the reason why it's very important for brothers to sit in here and learn how to be a brother, learn how to exercise brotherhood and discipline and good judgment when you're dealing with a brother. So we in here learning so that we can go and talk to the young niggas. Right. You know what I'm saying? We go and talk to the young brothers and be like, yo, we can start telling them, we can start giving them that wisdom that we learning of in here.
Right.
I smell something. What's going on? There's eggs out there. You know, they can't say she's a great egg maker.
Oh yeah.
That's all they
Double
wanted.
eggs.
That's all they wanted. They wanted.
Double eggs. Just give me double eggs.
Yeah.
That's all the kids want. But the thing is, right? So that's why it's very important for us to sit in these classes and learn, so that when we go out there and we encounter these young boys, man, we can talk to them and try to give them some type of game,
Right.
Because you never know. You never know, like, okay, the slightest, you can say one sentence to somebody that can change their life.
Yep.
Right. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's like it's planting a seed, right? And that seed can grow. It can be watered, right? And it can grow. It might not grow necessarily like the kid or whatever might not pick up what you're putting down like right then and there. But there could be incidents in his life that happens that makes him reflect on what you said to him, and then it's like, oh, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
That's what my uncle was talking about.
Facts.
Or whatever like that. So I'll give you a couple of scriptures on that.
Okay.
Right. First, let's start off with what actually happened when you died. You got. Give me 1 second. I got you. You got the scriptures on hand for the Ecclesiasticus or the Psalms, whatever that is. We'll get that. Bear with me.
Does it contain the word regeneration, Sam?
What'd you say?
Does it contain the word regeneration?
No, it doesn't. You know the ones. You know the one I'm talking about, where the spirit goes back to the Most High that gave it. Sometimes y'all got that. There's like one in Ecclesiastes. There's one in Ecclesiastes and one in Psalms or Proverbs.
Book of Ecclesiastes. Oh. Let me see the mic. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 21.
All right, hold on. Let everybody get that real quick. And then I got a couple more for you too. That's New Testament, right? Ecclesiastes is Old Testament. You said what was the chapter verse?
Chapter 3, verse 21. And you said the other one is in.
The other one is in Psalm Proverbs.
Okay.
All right, you can go ahead.
Come. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 21. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward?
Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward? You know, when you, I'm not sure if that's the scripture.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
That's the one I'm looking for. Of course, if anybody in the chat,
I want to eat.
Slaki, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7.
right, that sounds about right. Go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth.
So when you die, right? I'm pretty sure you heard the term ashes to ashes, dust to dust, right? So the body goes to the ground, right? Dust goes to the dust. Read on.
Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was.
Then the dust turns to the earth earth as it was when you died. Go ahead.
And the spirit shall return unto God who gave it.
And then your spirit, that's what happens. Your spirit goes to the Most High that gave it to you, right? Because your spirit goes to the Most High. You don't, like the scriptures say, the place of judgment is under the sun. So
Right.
you go to the Most High. Everything happens, whatever, you get your judgment or you get whatever happens, whatever you did in this lifetime, and then you come back for that judgment. Right? You come back. Who's to say, who's to say how you're going to come back? You don't know how you're going to come back. Remember the blind John, the 9th chapter, when Christ was walking with the disciples, they seen the blind man. Right? Remember they seen the blind man, and the blind man, and the disciples said, hey, who sinned? Did he sin or did his parents sin that he was born blind? So we can understand that his parents sinned for him being blind, but how can he sin if he was born blind? Right? The only way he could sin and be born blind is if he sinned in the previous lifetime, and his judgment was to be born blind. See what I'm saying? And so that's how you know that Christ was teaching. Also, with that scripture, you know that Christ was teaching regeneration.
Right.
Or reincarnation. Right. But reincarnation isn't you come back. Regeneration isn't you come back like, in some cultures they believe you come back as a damn animal or something. Right? That is not that. You come back as a man. If you're a man right now, you come back as a man. If you're a woman, you come back as a woman. You come back in the same tribe. You don't come back and now you Mexican. You're not going to come back and now you know what I mean, whatever else, Jamaican, whatever. Right. You're going to come back and you're going to be a Negro. Right?
Right.
Tribe of Judah. Right? And so that's what happened. So could you read that from the top one more time?
Come. Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was.
Right. Because he was made from the dust of the earth, right? In the beginning it said we know that man was made from dust or clay, whatever. Your body returns to the dust. Go ahead.
And the spirit shall return unto God who gave it.
Any more on that?
Lie, sir.
All right, I need that other one. It's one more that says, and then the earth, the Lord replenished the earth with his spirit. Psalms 104. It's Psalms 104.
Come.
All right, let me get that. Wait a minute. It might be Ecclesiastes 6 and 10. Might be Ecclesiastes 6 and 10. I think that's the
No, renew us the face of the earth.
Huh? Yeah. That's one of them. And then I got one in the apocrypha for you. You said 6 and what?
I'm up to
6 and 10 is in it.
renew us the face of the earth.
No, that is the scripture that we use for the regeneration.
Yeah, Psalms 104 it was Psalms 104 and 30.
Oh, Psalms 104 and what?
30.
Psalms 104 and 30. Yeah, that's where it is. Psalms 104 and 30.
Kyle.
So like it, because I had this written down in a different book. So like this. Let me make sure I got it down. Go ahead.
The book of
I'm looking at the young brother. Young man, Will, would you mind reading Psalms 104 and 30? Yeah.
Here you go.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right, Psalms 104 and 30. Thou sendest forth Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth.
So like here, 1 second. That's that's what that is. What version you read?
That's King James.
That's
Yeah.
what it says?
Mhm.
Thou art created?
Yeah.
Probably,
Okay, you got it probably.
so like if I may, probably let's start at verse 29.
Yeah, that's
29.
I'm getting that down. 130. Yeah, they tripping. They all 104 and 30. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh no, okay, this is what I want. Give me 29. That's what I want.
Psalms 104,
Yeah,
verse 29, right?
29.
Psalms 104, verse 29. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled.
Right. What does that mean? Okay. When the Bible says thy hidest thou face. So like it says, thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. What does that mean? Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. What does that mean? What does that first part mean? Give it a crack. Go ahead, give it a crack, man. No. Thou hidest thy face. Remember, we talking about death.
Right.
Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled.
No.
Okay. You want to take a crack at it? One of the sisters, y'all want to take a crack at it? What does that mean? Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou meaning you. You hidest your face, they are troubled.
Yeah, that's right.
Like you, I'm saying you, like he's talking to you like the Most High, like you hide it. You know?
I'm basically saying that the Most High looked away from them while they was
Right.
misbehaving,
Well, not misbehaving.
sinning.
No, okay, we're talking about death. So in the time of death, it says thou hidest thy face. Like, okay, when the Most High is looking, everything's good. You live in, right? You live in. But when the Most High turns his face, when he hides his face, then it says when thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Now, when the Most High turns his face, then you start getting troubled. Like I remember they were saying, my uncle, right? When he had passed away, you remember we had just went to a funeral over there. And so, meaning he was in distress. He was in distress. Like he's going through the phases of death.
Mm-hmm.
He's checking out.
Right.
Right. And if you've ever seen it, sometimes people they look like they're gasping for air.
Right.
Look like they're gasping for air, but you can tell there ain't no air going in there.
Mm-hmm.
But they just going through the movements like you're in trouble.
Right.
Right now, you're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to die. It's no. At this point, there's not going to be anything that can see.
Right.
When the Lord hides his face, or the Lord turns his face, then that's it. It's time. You're going to die. Right. Regardless of you being an Edomite, you being a Negro, you being whoever. Everybody lives and dies according to the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It ain't specifically just Negroes and blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians. It's everybody.
Whoever it is, right.
Right, everybody. Right. Now, how does that face there in trouble? Now you're running into trouble. Right. You're starting that the out process. Right. Read on.
All right. Psalms 104, verse 30.
No, 20.
20. We saw on 29. Slaki. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath. They die and return to their dust.
Right. So it says now you troubled, right? Like I said, my uncle was in distress, and when he was in distress, right, with my she's not my aunt, but his wife. What his wife did was, Marat, turn that down. What his wife did was, his wife, instead of her calling 911, right, and getting the ambulance in there immediately, right. What she did was she left him up in the house and went downstairs, left out the house, went to the next door's neighbor, told the next door neighbor he's up there, something going on, come on, you know what I mean?
Right.
Mind you, the whole time he's being troubled. That's what the scriptures say, right?
Yeah.
Well, thou takest away. The whole time he's up there by himself, he's being troubled and his breath is being taken away.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so my family was mad at her. My family was mad at my Uncle Larry's wife because they was like, well, why didn't she do this? And why didn't she do that?
Mm-hmm.
They was mad. They wanted to go fight the lady.
Right.
Come on, y'all can't go fight this lady.
Right.
And I had to be the voice of reason, look, the Lord put the spirit on her to do that. Any of us would automatically call 911.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't know how to do CPR or any basic life-saving skills, if you don't have any basic life saving skills, then you call 911. but it wasn't meant to happen that way.
Right.
The Lord put the Spirit on her to leave him up there, walk all the way down the steps, go out the house, go next door, talk to the neighbors, you know what I mean, Mr. Burke and them, wait for them, then go back up there and see what's going on
Right.
there.
Right. So that's kind of like the same thing. There was like 4 people in the house, and when he got shot, they all ran out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And left him there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then the Lord put the Spirit on them to leave out.
Right.
Who knows how long it took them to call the police or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that it was meant for it to happen.
Right.
Right. It's none of us can escape that.
Right.
All of us can bet our bottom dollar. That is one thing that we all have in common. One experience that we all are definitely going to have in common.
Yeah, we definitely gonna die.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Your experience might be different when it happens. Some people are shot. Some people get hit by a car. Some people might be cancer. Some people go into coma. Some people it's all types of stuff.
Right.
But rest assured, it's something that we all going to have to experience. That we all going to have to go through. It says they died and returned their dust. It said return to their dust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same as the scripture before. It returns to the dust, but it's going to give you a little bit more with this scripture.
Okay.
Could you read on verse 30?
Yeah. Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created.
Okay, stop right there. Now you just died.
Mm-hmm.
You just died. Your body went to the dust. Your spirit went to the Most High. But then when you read this next scripture, it says, "Thou sendest forth thy spirit; they are created."
Right.
So what does that tell you?
I don't know. They renewed, reincarnated.
Mm-hmm. Right. The Lord is sending forth that spirit again.
Right.
Right. The Lord is sending forth that spirit.
Okay.
And thou reneweth. Read on.
And they are created, and thou renewest the face of the
And
earth.
thou renewest the face of the earth. If your spirit is coming back to renew the face of the earth, how would that look? How would that look? If your spirit comes,
You would have to be a person. You would have to be a person again.
Right. You would come back as a baby.
Right.
Right.
As a baby. Okay.
You see your mom and dad get it in.
Right.
Wait. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then you bring forth a child.
Yeah.
And that child could be a child that was here before. You ever hear people say, "Oh, this person got an old soul."
Right.
There's no way of you knowing.
Right.
Of course, there's no way of you knowing. Remember, the scriptures say there's no remembrance of former things. There's no way of you knowing.
Right.
But it's crazy how you can look at somebody or listen to somebody and you can get that damn, this
That feeling. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a child or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you'll never know.
Right.
You'll never know. It's one of those things and that's why we always harp on the fact that it's very important for brothers to stay in class and sit in those seats and learn and stay in the truth and endure to the end. Why? Because you could be bringing your nephew back. You could be having a child. You could be having a boy with your wife or whoever, and be bringing your grandpa back.
Mm-hmm.
Be bringing that nephew back.
Right.
Be bringing, you know what I'm saying, the Israelite back from before.
Yeah, that's deep.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's very important for you to stay in the truth.
Right.
Because you in this truth, man, the Lord be blessing you with kids, boy. I had them two here in the truth.
Oh yeah.
Didn't think I was having anymore. Boom, bow. Telling you.
Yes, sir.
And now you bringing kids into the world, right? That'll never taste pork. That'll never celebrate Christmas. As long as you got, you know what I mean?
Right.
Of course, you always fighting with the world. They might give them a coloring book page or something that they might be able to get that off at school. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure they have St. Patty's Day coloring page at school.
Definitely.
But for the most part, the major holidays I keep them home. I'm able to dictate them.
Right.
So they don't celebrate no Christmas. They don't celebrate none of that stuff. Because these kids is coming back into the truth.
Right.
They've been born into the truth.
Mm-hmm.
They've been born born differently than how I was.
Right.
All right. So we pretty solid on that. You understand what happened. So that can give you a little comfort in knowing that, your nephew, he's sleeping with his fathers, man. The scriptures say you sleep with your fathers.
Right.
Meaning you resting, brother resting. until the Lord just sees fit to. We don't have no time limit. It's telling you come back, but
They don't say when. Right.
A week, a month, a year. I can't tell you that. That's all on the Most High. All we got to do is just know that we got to stay in this truth, so that if the Lord do bless me with a kid, I can, it might be this.
Right.
Give me Ecclesiasticus. In the Apocrypha, give me Ecclesiasticus. I'm gonna get one more on it. Then, since we're going to get your questions, give me Ecclesiasticus. We'll get two more on it. Ecclesiasticus 1:13.
Thank you, sir.
Ecclesiasticus.
Con.
Hold on one second. Let me get that with you. That's a good trick to have, being able to get to the scriptures quick. You know what I'm saying? Because if you like you out at camp and a brother in the battle, and you able to pull those scriptures quick, the brother can keep going. There's no downtime. You see what I'm saying? Because like as you can see, if you was at camp Saturday, we had a nutcase come out there. The nutcase come out there. You got to be able to pull those scriptures fast.
Right.
Snake bro, damn near louder than the bullhorn. You louder than the microphone. You got to keep going. You don't have time for downtime. You ain't got time for downtime. Right. Talking about the Holy Spirit, and I was going to get a little bit into that tonight if I got a chance as well. You said it's Ecclesiastes.
Con.
Hold on a second. No,
It's
I
in
don't.
Sriracha.
Y'all know that scripture that said in Ecclesiastes where it talk about Zion. You know what I'm talking about? General Haas. I remember General Haas talking about it. It talks about that. I thought it was Ecclesiastes, the first chapter. What, Wisdom of Solomon? It might be Wisdom of Solomon. One and three. It's like Wisdom of Solomon. I know it's the first chapter. Whatever it is, it's the first chapter. Wisdom of Solomon. Y'all hold on one second. Man, I had it written down somewhere. It could be 3 and 1. 3 and 1. Y'all bear with me.
What does it say? What's the scripture say?
All right, I think it is 3 and 1. So we go to 3 and 1. I'm gonna tell you right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 1. Is that what you want? Yeah.
Con.
It almost, because it's like more than one. It's just like more than one scripture. It's like a few scriptures to read. I believe this is what it is. All right, go ahead. Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 1.
Con. The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of God.
Right. This is what you want to strive to be. You want to strive to be righteous, right? Because it says the soul of the righteous is in the hand of God. So if you are unrighteous, then that means your soul is not in the hands of nobody. Definitely not the Most High. Right? It says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the power. And they're Salakia. You know what?
Con. and there shall no torment touch them.
Right. No, nothing bad can happen to you if you in the hands of the Most High. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 2, in the sight of the unwise, they seem to die.
Right. In the sight of the unwise, you seem to die. Right. When we look at it, when we see a brother like in the truth pass away or something like that, we understand that that brother is going to come back. Right? We understand that it's not something that's forever, like final. You see what I'm saying? Like Christians believe that you die and then that's when life begins. Like now you start living in this magical, mythical place, and you live in this place and you live in this place forever. And that is not the case. That is Christianity, and that right there has destroyed black people. Okay, think about it like this. The white man told you that you have to live a lifetime full of hell to get to this place.
Right.
You have to endure everything I do to you. I can kill you, I can hang you, I can poison you, I can rape you, I can murder you, I can rob you, I can do whatever I want to. And you have to endure it all to get to this place. But I'm allowed to live like the place that you're trying to get to, I'm allowed to live like that now. And still get to that place. God damn. That makes no sense. You're allowed to have heaven now and still be in heaven with me? No, that's ridiculous. And that's not the heaven. That's never a place that I want to be. I don't want to be nowhere where the same person that's murdering me and killing me and doing whatever he's doing to me, he can still get there too. I don't want to be there. Not send me somewhere else. Send me to the next building or the next room or something like that. That's not the place I want to be. And that's not the God that I want to serve that will allow that type of injustice to happen. I ain't serving no God that's about to let that happen. And let somebody oppress me and then still be in the kingdom of heaven and still rule with me. Man, come on now.
Right.
It's foolishness.
Right.
It's foolishness. It says, and there shall no torment touch them. Verse 2.
Come. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery.
Right. And so most of the time when you see somebody die, your departure is taken for misery. People, they mourn over you. They mourn over you, and rightfully so. You know, the scriptures say, if you mourn over a righteous man 7 days. What that scripture say? 7 days, weep for the dead.
Please. Ecclesiasticus.
Right. You mourn for a righteous brother. It's okay. It's okay to do that. But when you're on another level, sometimes in here you'll have the script to say, "Let the dead bury the dead." I just can't go to that. I can't go to the funeral, Mom. You know why I can't go to the funeral? Because I got work to do. You know what I'm talking about? The scripture where Christ said, "Let the dead bury the dead."
Yeah, I heard it. I don't know exactly what it said, but I heard it.
I'll get that next. Their departure is taken for misery, right? But it's no misery in that. Verse 3.
Verse 3. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace.
Right? We think that is utter destruction for this person. You know what I mean? But they are in peace. You ever heard somebody say they're in a better place? Well, not necessarily they're in a better. Well, don't think of that like they're in a better place. Don't go to heaven or hell. Heaven and hell are conditions on earth. But you chilling with your forefathers. Just say you sleep with your forefathers. You know what I mean? So you are in peace. You're not here dealing with the things that the unrest and the unpeace and the things that we have to deal with here. Right, being in the truth and seeing everything that's going on, it makes a brother sad.
Right.
Sad. Seeing brothers that just can't get it. We spend all our time, man. Look, let me tell you how much time I spend in the school. I spend all my time in the school. Outside of work, I spend just as much time in the school as I do at work, right? And I wish I could spend more time here and blessed on there. Damn, that right. But we spend so much time in here, right? I kind of lost my train of thought, but we spend so much time in here, and I spend so much time in here so that I can have that peace. Verse 4, Salaki.
Come, verse 4. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality.
Drop that. I could have sworn it was a different one. I'll find it and I'll give it to you at another time. But give me we get this last one on it. Give me Matthew 8:22.
Come.
Matthew 8:22. And Will, if you could. Like death is nothing that we have to be afraid of. Right. You know what I'm saying? The only thing the only thing that you gotta be afraid of is premature death. See what I'm saying? Death prematurely before you get a chance to start serving.
And I like, yeah.
That's what you need to be afraid of. So that's why it's important to start serving the Most High. Start doing what you got to do now.
Right.
Because we all know we're not guaranteed tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's what we should be afraid of. Give me Matthew 8:22 if I could.
All right, the book of Matthew 8, verse 22.
Hold on 1 second. Let me check something. Go up to verse 21 if I could.
All right, Matthew 8, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And another of his disciples said unto him, Lord, suffer me first. Go and bury my father.
Right. So this one of the disciples, right? They with Christ, right? They need to go do something. But the brother asking him, he like, well, suffer me first to go and bury my father. Like, suffer me first to go bury my father. That's your dad.
Mm-hmm.
That's your daddy. You come from his loins. You come from this man right here. Like 9 times out of 10, most of us have the same name.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Esau, he'd go way down the lane, be like Louis the 14th, Louis the 15th, Louis the 16th.
Hell yeah.
You know what
Uh-huh.
I mean? Louis the 19th.
Yeah. That's great.
You got the same name as your father, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this brother, he's trying to go bury his father. That's what he's asking Christ. He's like, please suffer me to go bury my father. Right? Go ahead.
All right. But Jesus said unto him,
What did Yahweh say unto him?
Follow me.
Do what?
Follow me.
Christ said, this is a very bold statement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this is a challenge any man's faith. This is a challenge any man's gumption to serve the Lord. Gumption is a word I learned from Captain Shawar. Used to always say that. The Lord is testing our gumption. It is going to test your gumption. If you know your dad dies, and this man that it's like say your father died. I don't know if your father's dead or whatever.
Nah, he's still living.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I'm just
right
as an example. Say your father passes away, and then I say, damn that, or not damn that. Come and follow me.
Right.
Matter of fact, we got some work to do, brother. We got to go over here, and we got this food drive or something like that, or we got these young brothers over here we need to talk to because we had like a summit or something.
Mm-hmm.
But your father's funeral is on the same day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to say it's wrong to go to your father's funeral. You are allowed to go to your father's funeral, but in this case, this is showing you something different.
Right.
This is showing you that a certain type of spirit that you can elevate yourself to heaven. Right, because most men, you're going to go to your father's.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But it takes a special man to be able to follow this order right here. Christ said, the brother said, hey, suffer me first to go and bury my father. And Christ said, follow me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Follow me and let the dead bury the dead.
What does that mean? Follow me and let the dead bury the dead. Now, is that saying let a zombie come and let a zombie come out the ground and then dig a hole and bury your dad in it? Let the dead bury the dead.
No.
I got you. I know you know. I know y'all know. Let the dead bury the dead. Is the crypt keeper going to bury a hole and put your dad in there?
No.
Let the dead bury the dead. Let it cry. What does that mean? Let the dead bury the dead. Follow me and let the dead bury the dead.
I know Christ saying follow him.
Mm-hmm. Let the dead bury the dead. No sweat, no sweat.
I'm stuck.
Because I go if you had your hand up first.
Okay, the best way to say that would be let the worldly people bury the dead person.
Right.
The person
Okay.
that's not
Okay. Right.
the truth.
Right.
Right.
The
Okay.
best way to say it.
Right.
Okay.
Good. Let the person that's dead to the truth bury somebody that's dead. We
Right.
got work to do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
We ain't got time for that. You know what that's going to make you? You know what's going to happen after you in there with that body? You're going to be unclean for 7 weeks. Now I said 7 weeks. You're going to be unclean for 7 days.
7 days.
And so now that's 7 days that you can't do any work in the truth.
Right.
So imagine if you're a brother who you just started a school. You just started a school and you ain't got this many brothers to help you.
Mm-hmm.
And everything relies on you. Now you go to this funeral, school shut down for a whole week. School shut down for a whole week. And during that week, and I'm just, playing devil's advocate,
Right.
During that week, you might have people that's looking for the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But the doors to the school is shut down, closed. And now they go but the doors to Islam is open.
Right.
So now they go and they in Islam. They can regressed, digress, whatever the term is.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are somewhere else in some
Right.
other window doctrine. The Pan-African temple is open. Now you can worship the god of Dookie or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Now you can watch. Now you can worship that.
Right.
So Christ is saying, "Let the dead bury the dead, brother. We got work to do. We got to take these brothers, and we got to raise them from the dead."
Right.
That goes back to a scripture I have read Saturday. I'm talking about the valley of dry bones. We got to prophesy to these dead bones. We got to wake these brothers up out here, man.
Right.
So that these brothers can know what's going on. So these brothers can know that they have enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Like black people, we seem to think that we ain't got a care in the world, an enemy in the world. We love everybody. Everybody's going to love us, and that is false. And it's our job, right? It's our job to do what black leaders are not doing.
Right.
Black leaders don't warn black people to danger.
No.
They don't go in there and tell you about you shouldn't be celebrating Women's History Month and damn the feminist movement and forget American holiday. They're not telling you that. It's our job to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's our job to do a job that's unwanted.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, you see what happens when we go out here and do the job. You got nutcases that pull up in the car. Look, we was at camp Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and the dude pulls up. He pulls up, starts traffic. We on Market Street Mall. He pulls up. He asked me a question. I'm like, "You got a question? Take it to the table." Mind you, I've already seen this dude 20 million times. He may not recognize me as being me specifically,
Right.
but I know who you are. So he asked me like 2 or 3 times, go to the thing. Oh, you're not. So wait, what the demon tried to do is the demon tried to get me to come out of character.
Mm-hmm.
And the demon said, oh, yeah, you ain't the leader. I ain't trying to talk to you. I want to talk to the leader. Nigga, you ain't qualified to talk to my children.
Right.
You ain't qualified to talk to my children. Look at who the hell are you? Right, but I have to have discipline.
Right.
I have to have discipline. Right? Even when you want to punch a nigga in the mouth. Even when you want to wring his neck.
Yeah.
Gotta have discipline.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? Because I've been there when I've lost it before. So now I know a little bit better how to control myself.
Right.
Even though I get under your skin. And so Tazaiwan, being a camp leader and knowing what to do, Tazaiwan gets up there because it was a brother speaking. Right, and so then the brother tries to get loud. Oh, you the leader? I want to speak to the leader. I want to do this. I want to do that. And so now the demon is trying to interrupt the speaking because there's people that's there listening to us. There's people that's there listening, and they're trying to get the truth. And it's just like the scriptures say. As soon as they get the truth, here comes Satan trying to take it away.
Right.
I know y'all hear Tazaiwan read the Mark 4th chapter. I don't know how many times y'all done got that breakdown, man.
Was he a black man?
Spanish. Right? And so they getting the truth, they getting the word, and they sitting there and they agreeing. Yeah. Agree what y'all saying. Then here comes Satan. Trying to take that truth away from him. And he loud too. He was holding up traffic. People start beeping the horn. Because now you're holding up traffic. So now the people behind you got to go around you. But now you know how Market Street Mall is. It's very, very narrow. Yeah. So and then now the people in the next lane trying to come down, they got to wait for the people to go around so that then they can try to go. And it's a bunch of commotion. Then you got people stopping because now they want to see what's going on. You know, black people, we respond to violence. So you just want to, you know something clearly is going on. Right. And he just got shut down. You know what I mean? Tazaiwan jumped up there, you know what I mean, without no mic and anything like that. And, shut it down. That's right. That's what we trained to do. Right. That's what we trained to do. Shut it down. Get out of here, nutcase. Weirdo. You a whole weirdo out there. How can somebody try to, if you telling black people to get off drugs, stop murdering each other, love one another, brotherhood, how can you come and try to interrupt that? That can only be a demon. Exactly. Right. That can only be a demon. Yeah. So you know what we do? We check the goddamn demon. We're very good at demon slaying. Y'all heard of Buffy? Yeah. Dad, Buffy. That's a TV show. Right. When the ISU came, we really do go out there and work. Right. And it comes from theater in these classes, right? Getting built up to have that spirit, the strength to be able to do it. Right. Right. What was we reading?
Turn it down. Turn it down.
Yeah. What's reading Matthew?
Yeah, Matthew 8 and 22. Yep.
All right, so that's that. Let the dead bury the dead. Right. When you in here, you got work to do. Hey, auntie enough, auntie. I'm not be able to go. Now, the reason why. Now, I'm gonna tell you the reason why I went to this last one. I was specifically asked by my mom to go to my Uncle Larry's funeral. You know what I'm saying? That's why me and Tazaiwan went. Right. Because and we had enough brothers to be able to hold the fort down while we was going. Right. You see what I'm saying? So when we was there at the funeral, we actually walked, like we went through like 2-3 times. You know what I mean? We went through, seeing, then my mom came, we walked mom through, then Gary came, you know what I mean? Right. And they had the most horrible music playing. And the music is just, golly, the music would just make you cry. Like, literally, it's just not even going to sugarcoat. That horrible music. Horrible. It's so slow.
Yeah, it's like funerals ain't even that sad. It's just
the funeral's not sad.
It's just
it's the music. Yeah, that's what gets you.
Like, everybody good until you know what I mean? Yeah. Why the hell you gotta sing it so damn slow? Anyway. So that's enough. You pretty solid on that, people. All right, we good on that.
I was asked.
This is Women's History Month, right? Is it Women's History Month? Women's Suffrage Month? That was last month?
I thought that was just like a week ago.
It's a week.
That's what I thought it was. I didn't see
They
that
talk
else.
about women's suffrage and women this and that.
I saw a lot about it last week, but this week I ain't been saying much.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was asked why did God?
You got it written down. I know.
Yeah.
Like, somebody send me in here with these questions.
No,
Go ahead.
my cousin asked me. He
All right,
said,
cool, that's cool.
he told me to ask, why did God put Adam and Eve out the garden?
Why did they put Adam and Eve out of the kingdom, so to say, right? Out of the garden. Okay. I heard that breakdown. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tazaiwan. It was so that we would fight.
Yeah, like
It's so that we would fight for the kingdom, because we had the kingdom. It was all given to us. All we had to do was obey. Everything on the silver platter. And then you messed it up. Right? And then you messed it up. So now you got to show me you want this.
I got a precept.
Yeah, if you could. Because I did hear that breakdown before. I don't have the precepts, but since I wanted the precepts. But you had it all. You had a silver spoon with a silver spoon in your mouth. And you got the kingdom. Now you got to show me you want this kingdom. Now we have to prove ourselves to the Most High. Remember, the Most High is always, now we have to be proven. Right? And to be proven is to be tested. Right? So now you have to go through all these tests to be able to get back into that kingdom, right? To get back to that rulership.
So I know it's Hebrews 4. There we go.
That was the quick answer. That was the general gist of the answer. But they some roadblocks. I don't know. Roadblocks. I did not play that.
Everybody the same.
Right. But it's crazy. No graphics. No graphics whatsoever. But like, I mean, we out of that era where you gotta play, games with like that block with. Love that roadblock. All right, well, since everyone's getting that, but you got the general gist of it, right?
Yeah.
We got kicked out of the kingdom. Well, we got kicked out of the Garden of Eden, right? So that now we have to prove to the Most High that we want that.
But so why? Because Eve spoke to the other nations, right?
Well, yeah, because that what happened, right? Eve listened to somebody from another nation.
Mm-hmm.
They took in that knowledge. She passed it on to
Adam.
Mm-hmm. He was too weak to check her.
Yeah.
And they got in trouble.
So you say, so the serpent that be gully her was
a person. It was a person, right? Because it wasn't an actual snake.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't an actual snake. This is a metaphor for a person, somebody from another nation beguiled her. And then when you look at Black women today, it can happen because of Black men not having any power. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times our women look to other nations. Like, I could tell you something. I remember telling this girl something one time, right? I was telling her when you first come into the truth, you try to tell everybody a Jew. You try to tell everybody a Jew. Try to let everybody know that God's chosen people and all that. And I remember telling her about this video that I seen that we the real Jews and all that. And then she was looking at me like,
small little girls,
whatever, right? So, but then I remember showing her that video. It was this video of this Middle Eastern woman, and the Middle Eastern woman is saying, "You Black people, y'all are real Jews, and y'all are real Jews." They told you
he said, "Well, you can't hear him."
What, the mic?
What you say? He said, "Is your mic on?"
Yeah, the mic is on.
It's unmuted.
Yeah, the mic is unmuted.
Hold on, let me check it.
They answered me in the chat. They will be in the chat, right? Damn, what was I talking about?
The video of the Middle Eastern.
Right, the Middle Eastern woman.
He said it sounded like it's coming from this mic.
I got 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Yeah, 1 and 2. Yeah, so the Middle Eastern woman, right?
Coming through good.
Yeah, sounds like it's coming from.
Yeah, so the Middle Eastern woman, she's saying, y'all the real Jews. We need y'all to come back to the Middle East because they lied to y'all. They told y'all was nothing. They told you was a nigga. They told you was Black. But I'm telling you, you the real Jew. And we need you to come back to the Middle East because we need your salvation. We need you to save us. This is what the lady is saying. So when I showed the girl that, she was like like in awe, like, oh my God, like she just couldn't believe it, like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, dang. Why couldn't you believe me when I told you? You know, we just don't trust each other or believe one another.
Okay, so you.
All right. The other question was, he asked. Well, first he said that how is the name Mark, Luke, Matthew? How was those names? And I explained to him that those were not the names originally; those are interpreted names. But he said he specifically asked what was the purpose of Luke in the Bible.
What you mean? What was the purpose of Luke?
That's
so he could give us an account of Christ. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is there.
Turn it down.
Turn that down, Marad.
That was my shot.
Is their account of what happened, the events that happened while they were with Yahushua.
Okay.
So Luke's purpose, so that we can know
Beat him up.
Christ, with the events that happened while Christ was here.
Right, and I was a little stumped because I'm sitting there thinking, like, why just ask specifically about Luke?
Yeah.
Why not Mark?
You know why Luke is in there? For the same reason why Matthew's in there. for the same reason Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. For the same reason why John is in there.
Okay.
And Mark.
I'm sure he's watching.
That's the same. That's the reason.
Okay.
Any other? Yeah, and that's what I would like to ask. That's what you're finding out. Why specifically? Why specifically?
I will.
Right. Because Luke is having that question. You got it.
There you go.
Why did God curse the ground Why did God curse the ground when I think when Adam ate from the tree and God said he was gonna curse the ground?
I'm not familiar with that. If you can get the scripture, try to find the scripture.
All right, I'll try to pull it up.
Yeah. If you can try to, because you know what I mean. I'm
okay.
Not familiar with him cursing the ground, but I'm almost thinking like of cursing the ground as like Abel or one of them being killed or something. But yeah, if you can find the scripture and pull it, we can get it.
All right, slide.
And, there's a precept which is Hebrews 4:8, but he got kicked out because of their disobedience.
Right.
But the Lord had to do it for His name's sake. You know what I'm saying? Like if like say you tell us like if somebody, okay, if the Lord would have like restored everybody back, right? Just said, okay, well, cool, just restored you back. Then that means that you would automatically just do it because you know what I'm saying? Like
it ain't
right.
No,
you would just automatically just do it if the Lord would have just let you stay. Of course you'll pay attention then. But you know what I'm saying? Now it's a fight to get back into it. But it's a precept. And
I know it's definitely
because remember the Lord. Remember when the Lord rested on the seventh day, right? When the Lord rested on the seventh day, when the Lord rested on the seventh day, it's like it. When the Lord rested on the seventh day and created Adam, spiritually created Adam, that's what we've been trying to get back to since they got kicked out of the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Right, to get back into the Lord's rest. And in Hebrews 4:8 says that. I got it.
Can you give it?
I got it.
Matter of fact,
I got it, sir. I can read.
You got it. Let's
Come on, sir. Book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 8. For if Yahushua had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day?
Say that one more time.
Book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 8. For if Yahushua had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day?
Go up to 5.
Verse 5. And
verse 4.
Come on, sir. Verse 4. For he spake in a certain place on the seventh day on this wise.
Matter of fact, Salaki, could you go up to 3, please?
Come on, sir. Book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 3. For we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. For he spake in a certain place on the seventh day on this wise, and God did rest the seventh day from all his works.
Right.
Verse 5, and in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest.
Enter into the rest, right? Most High's rest, right? Go ahead.
Seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached enter not in because of unbelief.
Right. So brothers who was first preached to don't get into the kingdom of heaven because they don't believe. Right? They are unbelieving.
Right, because they didn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they went off. You know what I mean? But like if I could, you like the scripture is basically talking about when it said if I could, it said it must remain it that some must enter into. So like we're back in the Lord's rest because we're in the truth. But other people are out there that is there. They have to enter back in, but they haven't because that's what we got to do. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's pretty much that. You could take that and see if the brother needs any more on that. All right. So, Nataziala, did you have any more on that? What was we was? So it's Women's History Month.
Con.
It is. I think it's not just a week. It's a whole month. I was trying to find the video, right?
Yeah, I couldn't
I was trying to find that video. It's Jane Elliott. Edomite name is Jane Elliott. And I'm 9 times out of 10 very sure that it's the same. It's the interview that she's having with Roland Martin. It's her and Roland Martin, and it's a black lady who's asking the question. And they start talking about women's suffrage, right? And they start talking about women's suffrage and Women's History Month. And Jane Elliott makes a statement. She says that when it comes to the feminist movement, the feminists is right. Feminists are women who want to separate themselves from a man. And they want to essentially be the man. They want to be equal and everything until you get punched in the face. Then you hit a girl. You hit a girl. All before you get punched in your mouth. A woman can do everything a man can do. It's going around now again. The light skinned girl, the tall light skinned girl that got caught with like CBD or something in Russia.
The
basketball girl.
Okay.
Now they put out a page. It was like Black Lives Matter, Oklahoma or something put out North Carolina or something put out a page that said, "Look, she can do everything a man can do. She can beat most men at a game that's dominated by men, and she's this and that, and they're actually comparing this girl to a man, right? And saying because she's like this." We should be going to go get her from. Russia, right? That's what the whole feminist thing is about. It's about the woman, the white woman, saying that she wants to be equal with the white man, right? That's not where our power lies. Our power don't lie. We don't need our woman on the front line. When a woman says that she wants to be equal with a man in that aspect, that means she wants to pick up a gun and be on the front line. She wants to do the things that a man does, and we don't need our women to do that. Some of these other nations might put their woman on the front line, but we don't need our woman to be on the front line. The NFAC, the not effing around crew, not fucking around crew. That, and I still laugh at that. I still laugh at that group now to this day because the name that they got the name from a movie. They got the name from a movie. The movie the dudes was breaking in banks, and then the detective said, you know, that crew is not fucking around. That's the not fucking around crew. And this Negro comes with the damn. Oh my God! But they got women out there. They got women out there with AKs and all that kind of stuff. And they got them out there long periods of time. And did you see what was going on when they were having them out there? It was like at least 2 or 3 self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Or wound, not necessarily I shoot myself, but I shoot you.
Friendly fire.
Friendly fire. They out there, friendly fire, killing, shooting each other. I don't think it was any deaths, but they damn sure are shooting each other in the ass. You tired. You got your rifle up now. You set your rifle down. Now. Out there tripping. Women's history is celebrating women who pretty much just want to be on their own, want to be equal with a man, or want to do things or feel like they can do things just as good or better than a man. When that was never the case in Israelite history. Now, if I got enough time, I'm gonna go into a sister named Deborah, right? And a lot of people say, see, she was leading Israel. No, she was doing what she had to do under the leadership of a man. Right, that's where our power lies at. All right, let me handle the war. I don't need you out there with a mic trying to go to war with these. I've seen that before. Hey man, it was when I first came into the truth. I seen a camp, and it was a sister. I said, "Is that a sister with the mic?" Sister with the mic. What the hell is you doing up there? Sit down, sis. Go ahead and get them eggs right. Go ahead and be a great egg maker. Get the devil eggs. Right.
Was her husband reading for her?
It was something like that. I can't. It was like I vaguely remember it because it was like years ago. But I remember a sister on the mic. Come on.
Because I seen one where she was breaking down the scriptures.
She was breaking down, yeah.
And her husband was the reader.
She breaking down the scriptures.
Right.
She breaking down the scriptures. You read the scriptures. You read for her. She telling you, read. Stop. She breaking down. Read. That man, look. That's foolishness. All right. So, Matatiana, did you get that?
What was the quote off of that Roland Martin that you was looking for?
She said, when it comes to the women's suffrage movement, they should have had a sign that said "Black women need not apply."
Okay.
They should have had a sign that said "Black women need not apply," because black women ain't have nothing to do with that.
Right.
Black women should have been making biscuits, like black women do, or lasagna. How many cheeses does I want? 6.
Right.
6. Lasagna with 6 different cheeses. That's what the black women need to be doing. You know what I mean? Taking care of you after you come home from war. That's what she need to be doing. You know what I mean? Making sure you're ready to go to the next battle. Matatiana, could you read that? Or I got an article I sent you, right?
Which one?
Okay, I want to read I'll get Deborah. I'm gonna show y'all sister, and I'm gonna show y'all this sister Deborah, right? And it's like Deborah. There's like a what is the term? There's like a debate with Deborah. Like some people believe that Deborah was leading Israel and led him into battle. And a lot of us who got sense know that she's still followed behind the brother, Barak. If I could, the women's history. Can I get the first one? Women's History Month explained, and it's from today. And then we'll get the second one where it says from the Jewish Women's Archive.
Come.
Because that was like a lot of people don't know that the whole women's suffrage movement was started by our oppressor, right? The same oppressor that stole our name, the same oppressor today that called themselves a Jew. They'll say you a slave, you a Negro, you black, whatever you want to call yourself. But I am God's chosen people. This women's suffrage movement was started by those women. All right. And so, Mataziala, if you got that scripture.
The
article, the women's history.
It's from today. It's called Why Women's History Month is Celebrated Each March by Madeline Marinock, March 3rd, 2022. Throughout Women's History Month, we celebrate the contributions of women. While it's important to celebrate women's history during the other 11 months too, during March, we can remember the sacrifices made by women.
Right.
For women to help make the world.
Right. So they said, women should be, we should celebrate their history every month. But we, particularly in March, celebrate women's history, right? Where so you can remember the sacrifices made by women for women to help make the world, read on,
and our country a more inclusive place.
Right, so we can celebrate how women make the world and our country a more inclusive place. Now, why the hell should we be celebrating that? It doesn't seem like they succeeded. Mataziala, doesn't seem it's an all-inclusive place.
Not at
So why
all.
the hell are we celebrating Women's History Month? It just said that. It just said they celebrate Women's History Month during March so that we can remember the sacrifices made by women that women make to the world and the country to make it a more inclusive place. I think if that's why we celebrate women, it's a failure.
Right.
Because this is not an all-inclusive place. Great Britain is not an all-inclusive place. South America is not all-inclusive. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's all-inclusive as long as we understand our place. As long as we take the position of a slave, it's all-inclusive. Yeah, you can come here as long as you're going to take out the trash. As long as you're going to, mop the floors and do all that stuff. It's all-inclusive. So that right there is already nonsense. Read on.
Women's History Month was officially created by Congress in 1987.
I was 6 years old. Go ahead.
But its roots go much deeper, starting with suffragists fighting for women to get the vote in the early 20th century.
Right. So it says the early 20th century. So the early 20th century is the 1900s. Right? Meaning the early 1900s, y'all know about the suffrage movement and all that kind of stuff. Women was, trying to have the right to vote and all that kind of stuff like that. When, who cares about voting? Right? Voting has never fixed us.
Right.
Black people. Voting never did nothing special for a black person.
Right.
And then when you tell a black person your vote don't matter. I'll tell a black person, look, you expect, we screaming Black Lives Matter. So that means your life don't matter. But you expect your vote. Riddle me that.
Right.
Your life don't matter, but your vote do. Come on now. Let's stop being children.
Let's
stop being children and be grown up men. I'm a 40-year-old man. Let me start acting like a goddamn 40-year-old man and think critically.
Right.
And see that, damn, this brother made plenty of sense. How my life matters, how my life don't matter, but my vote do. It's stupid. Right? So women wanted the right to vote. Women wanted the right to do the things that men do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Women want to fight in the MMA.
Right.
They want to be on WWE.
Right.
Women wanted to play football so bad that now they got the league. Well, I seen the video, right? And the girl, after she tackled the other girl with the football, she started twerking on her head.
Right. it's
You know that? You know what I'm talking about?
right.
You know the women's football where they had
Come.
G-strings on, the thongs on. She tackled the girl and started twerking on her head. Come on.
Right. So it's a locket, sir, if I may. They even I think it's so disgusting, but they want to be bodybuilders also. Like that is just that's not attractive at all.
Not attractive. I do not want your cheeks to be like that muscular. You know what I mean? I want there to be some femininity.
Feminine kind. Yes.
I want, you know what I mean? To feel like I'm in the bed with a man.
Right.
He's just as hard as me. You know, and bigger in some cases.
Right.
You have shoulders out here.
Right.
I'm looking at chin traps like get in the gym Tuesday and quit running around.
God, sir.
Go hard.
God, right.
Man, look. So the Women's History Month was officially created by Congress in 1987. But its roots grow much deeper, starting with suffragists fighting for women to get the right to vote in the early 20th century, right? If you could, Natasha, could you keep reading?
Come. Here is why Women's History Month is in March, and other facts you might not know about the month-long celebration. When is Women's History Month? Women's History Month is celebrated in March. It started as National Women's Day, a February 28 meeting of socialists and suffragists in Manhattan in 1909. History contributor Sarah Pewitt told Today that this meeting was held on a Sunday so that people would not miss work.
Right, so they had a meeting on February 28th. Women's History Month is celebrated in March. It started. It started from National Women's Day.
Right.
So it went from National Women's Day to the month, right? And it was actually the last day in February. Right. Go ahead.
In March 1910, German activist Kara Zetkin suggested that International Women's Day be recognized as an international holiday at the International Conference of Working Women in Copenhagen.
Right. There's a lot of international.
Right.
So pretty much, women wanted to vote. And women wanted the same jobs as men.
Right.
That's what it all started from, right? The woman to be able to do what she want to do without me telling her what I feel like she should be. What's the best thing for her to do? That's what that was. You want to do what you want to do instead of me telling you what you need to do. That's
Right. So it's basically the same as the feminist movement.
Yeah. This is all the feminist movement.
Right.
This is all the feminist movement, and that's why I wanted to find that video because the lady Jane Elliott, when she was, it was like a sit down that they was having, and the moderator was black, and Roland Martin, of course, is black.
Right.
They're talking, and the lady's asking her questions, and now she's able to sit there and act like she just loves black people.
Right.
So she's in the room and she's making all these puns, all these jokes of, I was married to a white man and, it took me, whatever, trying to act like, whatever she was acting like. But they asked a question about women's suffrage, and one thing she said about women's rights is when they came with the women's rights movement, that they should have had a sign that said, Black women need not apply.
Right.
Black women need not apply. And they said, she was going on to say that the black woman, the women's rights movement had nothing to do with black women. It was the white woman that was trying to separate from the white man, or at least trying to be equal. Because she's definitely not trying to separate totally from him.
Right.
Because the white man can say, grab you by the crotch. You know what I'm talking about.
Come.
And she'll still support him.
Right.
He could be as racist, whatever, however he need to be. And she'll still support him. She just wanted to be equal with him. That's not the black woman's place.
Mm-mm.
The black woman's place is to support a black man. The scriptures say when a man gets a wife, he gaineth a possession. That's
Right. Damn right.
when a man gaineth a wife, he gaineth a helpmeet. Like, or the woman was created to help the man. You see what I'm saying?
Damn right.
And so we help each other. You know what I mean? I help you, you help me. But that's why the woman was created for us. The Lord didn't create the black woman to carry no bayonet.
Right.
You know what I mean? To be on the front line. No, that's not why the black woman was created.
Con.
Go ahead.
Con. And all 17 countries in attendance at the conference agreed.
And all 17 countries, right? And I don't have to tell you that they were European countries, but you got to know. You got to know this, right? That there were 17 countries that agreed with what was going on. Go ahead.
So on March 18th, 1911, Europeans finally followed suit in recognizing International Women's Day.
When they say Europeans, right? So because it happened here, right? It happened here where they having these conferences and stuff, and then it says so on March 18th, 1911, Europeans finally followed suit. That's America trying to make themselves different than Great Britain.
Con.
That's America trying to make themselves different from the Poland or the Russian or something like that. You think, okay, I'm American. I'm not European. Europeans are over there in Europe. You're a European. All white people come from the same person, right? All white people come from the same one man, right? They are all the same, but everybody with color is not the same. Because everybody on earth has color except them.
Right.
So everybody with color aren't the same, meaning everybody with color doesn't have the same blood, but everybody who's an Edomite or everybody who's white does have the same blood.
Right.
If your father is a white man.
Right.
I'm not gonna say by color or nothing like that, because we don't go by colorism in this school.
That's right.
We don't go by colorism in this school. You might have a brother, you might see a brother that's on the lighter spectrum. Say it like that, he's on the lighter spectrum, but his daddy darker than me. You know what I mean? So you can't go by color, because then you'll be alienating brothers. You'll be alienating some of the Lord's children. You'll be alienating your own brother and sister.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So we don't go by color. That's why we ask you, what is your dad, brother? What your dad is? Whatever your dad, I don't care how light you are. I don't care what your hair look like. Tell me what your dad is. Because your dad, depending on what your answer is depending on my next move. Right. You see what I'm saying? Depending on how you answer, depending on how I'm about to respond. Especially if you try to get up in this damn school. And then you can have dark skin. You can have a dark skinned kid, right? That is a straight Edomite. What's the girl? What's the tennis girl? Serena. Y'all seen her baby is kind of dark.
Yeah.
Her baby is kind of dark with the curly hair and everything. The curly hair, you will not be able to. If did nobody tell you that her dad was white, you wouldn't be able to know. She'll be able to pass for a Negro. She'll be able to pass for a Negro, and if she didn't say anything, she'll be able to like come into the school and stuff like that. Right. Until we start talking. But you know how we gonna get her? We're gonna start talking about white people, and then your spirit gonna be convicted. Like you gonna be like, I'm getting up out of here. But
I have a cousin that's darker than Officer Matajala, and he's an Edomite. Yeah.
Wow.
Daddy is a white.
It'd be dark. You know what I'm saying? But like Blake Griffin is white with like red hair and freckles and all that, but his dad black. His dad black. Blake Griffin is Blake Griffin, and then so imagine how Blake Griffin looked, right? So he had a baby by a white woman, right? Right. So the baby looks a little bit even more whiter than Blake Griffin, but that baby is still a Israelite, so we can't go by color. Can't go by color or nothing like that. If your daddy is an Israelite, you welcome in here. Good. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. So
I did find that.
You found a Jane Elliott?
Con.
Stop playing, man. You got it in there?
Con.
Oh, man. All right. Okay. All right. We're talking about Women's History Month.
Right.
I gave you a little backdrop with the article. You could get that Jane Elliott now.
Con.
I had pee. Oh, you got a pee? Okay. Come on, let me get a key.
Hey, Mashar. Never mind. You know, I'll be on it about pronunciating.
I got you.
Pronunciating.
I got you.
I have to be. I have to be. No.
Okay.
So, gotta make sure I'm doing it. But yeah, we could get this Jane Elliott. Y'all bear with us. We got a little video for y'all.
Is it playing?
It's playing, but I don't hear it. Oh, you got it. Go to YouTube and unmute it.
Yeah,
Just mute it on
mic.
Oh, okay.
Knows everybody. So when you talk about those concerns, well, are you putting their specific issues on the table, or is that sort of a side conversation? And that's the struggle that we have in this country. If you're going to say we're advancing the cause of women, it needs to be women, not a certain group of women.
Let's get Jane in on this. Jane, advancing the cause of women, not certain groups of women. Can you talk a little bit about what you saw in the March on Washington?
We have been advancing the cause of white women ever since the women's movement. The women's movement was a movement for white women. They might as well have been wearing placards that said, "Black women need not apply." And that was only allowed to happen is because we wanted to stop the civil rights movement. And white men went along with that in order to put a stop to the civil rights movement. As long as we're talking about the
we might have to bring that back. You hear what she said? She said, that, okay, when it comes to the women's movement, that they should have had a placard that said "Black women need not apply." Because and then the need not apply, and then the only reason why white women started accepting Black women into the movement and why it started even being popular is because if now we start talking about women's rights, we don't have to talk about Black people as a whole rights because we don't want to deal with civil rights. We don't want to deal with civil rights. Like, come on now, this is coming from the horse. This is coming from the devil herself.
Come.
It's coming from the devil's mouth. Right? You was able to rewind that for me?
Come.
All right, I'm gonna run that back one more time, then y'all brothers can, chime in and do whatever y'all. That's right.
A certain group of women.
Let's get Jane in on this. Jane, advancing the cause of women, not certain groups of women. Can you talk a little bit about what you saw in the March on Washington?
We have been advancing the cause of white women ever since the women's movement. The women's movement was a movement for white women. They might as well have been wearing placards that said, "Black women need not apply." And that was only allowed to happen is because we wanted to stop the civil rights movement. And white men went along with that in order to put a stop to the civil rights movement. As long as we're talking about the rights of white women, then we don't have to talk about the rights of people of other colors. As far as I'm concerned, that's what the women's movement was about. Now there's going to be another women's movement. You
can cut that right there. That's all I need. I don't need no more. Cut it right there because she's letting you know that the women's suffrage movement had nothing to do with Black women.
Right.
And the only reason why it gained so much traction, the only reason why it became popular amongst white men is because white men sat back and said, you know what? Let's go ahead and focus on the right to vote for white women and all whatever white women want. So that now we don't have to worry about Black people and whatever the hell they begging for. Whatever they complaining about. You see what I'm saying? Whatever the hell they complaining about. So the white woman is using the black woman so that she can snap her neck and roll her goddamn eyeballs and snap her fingers while she talking.
Right.
Just straight use the black woman to get what she wants, to get her right to goddamn vote, and then what? Now the black woman cast to the wayside. Now the black woman cast to the wayside, and the white woman talk about your hair, talking about everything about your lips, how big your booty is. 20 years, what's that? How many years? What was that? 1913. They had the women's suffrage parade in Washington D.C. Well, we 100 years later now. She trying to get the same behind. Now she want the same lips, the same braids, the same sticky bangs. Y'all. Y'all know I'm up on it. Look, let me tell you something. Black women, most black women, they have their hair braided, whatever. And they do the edges. They do their edges, right? They do their edges.
The baby hair.
What is the baby hair? We had this dude at my job, right? And he was bald, but he used to, brush the little baby hairs down with a toothbrush and go like this. That was his name, baby hairs. We used to call it baby hairs. But so you know how women they do the drawing. They be laying down their hair and all that, and they be coming up with these creative little styles and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Every woman have their own little flavor, you know what I mean, with the little baby hairs and all that. But then this white TikToker had came out and she did the same thing. She called it sticky bangs or sticky whatever. And try to take credit for something that black women do. Right. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Then TikTok was like, wait a minute, black TikTok like nah. And then the girl recanted, and took all the videos down.
And it's at least been out at least 48 years. Cause hell.
Yeah.
My parents were doing that to me.
You are.
Yeah.
You said, hey, let everybody know how old you are right now.
Blow your cover.
Blow your cover right now. Blow your cover. But it's been out for a long time.
Right.
Same way, like, okay, what was it, French braiding or something like that?
Yeah.
How that's been out for a long time, and then Kim Kardashian came out with some French braids, and then they was like, see, she started the trend.
You see the newest trend
What's
that's going
that?
around? The older white men wearing the cornrows, going straight back. They got a 6 car. Oh, it's a video about three different older white men. They got straight backs, and it's this black dude that be cussing them out. And one of them says, well, if you got hair, you should be able to wear it however you want to wear it.
Yeah, so now they
Oh yeah, that's on TikTok too.
That's crazy. So that's just pretty much black people. And let me tell you something. We can't get mad at them for appropriating our culture.
Right.
If you're going to appropriate everybody else's culture, if you're going to sit there and dress like an African or act like an African and all that kind of stuff, you can't get mad at somebody because they doing what you do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But
right. So it's a lot good.
Like I was having the same conversation with someone at my slavery, and I was telling them like really we can't get mad at the success of Snowfall and Power and all that type of TV shows, because we're the ones that make it popular. We're the ones that's addicted to it, and we ones that watching it, and it shows the degradation of our. And it just shows like Bel Air, for instance, like that show is popular, and it's totally like degrading the whole.
Oh, it's horrible.
It switches everything around. Like it makes it a dysfunction. It shows the dysfunction within the black community, and it made.
Is it glorifying?
It made Ashley a sort of like a bisexual or lesbian in it. Like little girl Ashley, like, and Carlton is sniffing stuff, and it's like totally opposite of what the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that we grew up on. But we make it popular because we watch it. You know what I mean? We give it the success.
Yeah, man. Oh, damn. I was reading a message. So like,
No.
I gotta get it. And that's how it is.
Right.
That's exactly how it is. Right. And the crazy thing is, we're able, like, everybody's able to feed us a negative stereotype through, you know, what we watch and read and stuff like that, but we speak up about it. It's wrong. So women's suffrage, boom, boom. Next article. I'm gonna get that a piece from this next article, and then we at the end. So I'll finish it out with this next article. If anybody has any questions or anything, maybe I'll do like a question or something before we get out of here. You gotta type it in now. Shout out to Bertazian up in the building, Parabog, Terrence. Amawana and Kanal in the building. All right.
Slocky, you said
from the Jewish archives.
Start from the beginning.
So this is from the Jewish Women's Archive Encyclopedia. Man, you know we be look. That's the gift that I say the gift that we got in the Delaware school is the ability to do research. Because the brother Thashiyam has read a book that it was great. Okay, you can read. You can start with yes.
You said start with
This. Are you looking at this? Okay, yeah, you can start.
This is from the
Jewish Women's
the Hyman Encyclopedia of Jewish Women. It says Feminism in the United States by Joyce Antler. In brief, Jewish women play a significant role in all aspects of the American feminist movement.
Now, a lot of people don't think that there is any significance in that, but for me, there is.
Right.
Because anytime these people have been around us, these people have destroyed us.
Right.
Right. They destroy us not only with the things they do, but they destroy us with their ideology. They destroyed Black women with their ideology of feminism. Right. Because you want to separate from your man, don't mean that the Black woman needs to separate from her man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And what makes it so deep, it says by the uses of the word all aspects of the American feminist movement.
Right,
all aspects of it. So they the devil the Bible speaks of, basically.
So pretty much this person right here is coming up with this person right here is coming up with the whole idea and everything.
Right.
You just following it.
Right.
You just following it because they're beguiling you into making you believe that it's your fight when it has nothing to do with you. That's your fight.
Right.
Right. So they played a significant role in all aspects of the American feminist movement. Right. Go ahead.
Advocating for women's suffrage, birth control, and reproductive rights.
They was advocating for what? Somebody give me that word suffrage. I remember that. I remember that word. Alexa, give me the definition of the word suffrage.
Suffrage is usually defined as the right to vote, especially in a political election. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for suffrage.
Give me more definitions for suffrage. Alexa, give me more definitions for suffrage. Okay, so Alexa's acting stupid. I'll have to talk to her.
She like this might blow my cover. I ain't answering this.
It's sad. What more definition?
Right.
Pretty much suffers. The first definition was pretty much giving a woman the right to vote.
Right.
All right.
Giving them a voice, basically.
Just giving you a voice.
Right.
In Esau's kingdom, okay, in the white man's kingdom, the white man's vote is his voice.
Right.
We don't have a voice in that kingdom. Right? Your vote doesn't matter.
Right.
You don't matter in this kingdom.
Right.
According to the Constitution, you're 3/5 of a man. So, nigga, you only 3 parts of a man. You the legs, the arms, and the torso without the head, or you know what I'm talking about. Like you only part of a man. So, and let me take that a step farther. We was only 3/5 of a man, but that just because it says man doesn't mean that they're not talking about woman.
Right.
See what I'm saying? 3/5 of a woman. The hell, you know what I mean? She worried about even thinking about trying to vote in this system. Because even your one vote wouldn't even count to the white woman that you helping to fight. Helping her fight.
Right.
Your 3/5 don't even count to, the white woman that you helping on the left and to the right.
Right.
Because you don't even equal out. You don't even amount to this one white woman on the left and to the right. You gotta take 3 white women standing there for this one Negro to even amount to one. So I get it. And birth control. So these so-called women was responsible in helping for birth control and reproductive rights. We see how that has destroyed the Black community.
Damn right.
Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, the general was just talking about this 350,
yeah, 50 million. Is it 50 million?
Imagine in 3 years. Imagine in 3 years you can have 1 million soldiers born.
Is it 350 million or 350,000 a year? I'm not. No, you said 350.
Hold on, it's 1,000. Yeah,
it's 1,000.
Yeah, 350,000. Give or take some. You know what I mean?
Right.
So because the number could have changed, the number it could go up or go down. You see what I'm saying? And with people starting to wake up a little bit, the number hopefully is starting to go down.
Right.
But imagine in 3 years you could have 1 million soldiers, man.
There you go.
1 million new brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
That you can teach the truth to.
So is that 350,000 count? Is that all the nations together, or is that just with our people?
Right. That's when I say black and slocky. When I say black, I'm encompassing, the Hispanics.
Right.
And I'm encompassing the Native American Indians.
Right. Okay,
And
so
that's all thrown up in there.
Okay.
Right, because the Hispanic women is in there too. Right. Up in that Planned Parenthood too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We have the club on Friday and at Walgreens on Saturday.
Right.
And the 350,000 number is just what we know that's on that could be counted.
Right.
For the women that came in there, that came into Planned Parenthood, and it can be it's logged. How many women went and bought that Plan B?
Right. Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They get tossed up on Friday, Plan B on Saturday. What's the girl name?
Good
that's
night.
on Love and Hip Hop? Suki Hana from Delaware. She was down here. A lot of her videos from right there on 4th Street. She from here? I'm almost pretty sure. She was like, all her videos was from 4th Street. Okay?
What?
Right there on 4th Street. Right there on 4th Street.
Wow.
Suki Hana. And I remember a video that she had where she was on the right age right there on, I'm almost pretty sure that's 4th and Monroe. That right aid right there. And it was in there. Remember they had the Plan B? They went in there, it was her, a white girl, like 1 or 2 black girls, and they had a bottle of Hennessy. They went in there with a bottle of Hennessy. They picked up the Plan B, and it was like Plan B and Hennessy. Plan B, and Hennessy.
Wow.
Y'all remember that? Oh,
No, lie, sir. Good night.
Plan B and Hennessy.
Wow.
Nice.
So she already know what she about to do.
Right. Good.
She's about to go into the nighttime with no scruples. No scruples, no condom, no raincoat, no hood, no nothing.
Right.
Be free.
Wow.
She's about to exercise all of the rights that was given to her during the women's
suffrage movement. Right.
See what I'm saying?
Good night.
Any more? Can we read that? What you got?
Comic-Con. Birth control and reproductive rights, peace, improved conditions for working women, the Equal Rights Amendment, and gender equality.
They wanted just pretty much just being equal, pretty much with a man. You know, they wanted and better working conditions and things of that nature. Could you read on?
Comic-Con. In the early and mid 1960s, Jewish women,
Go ahead.
including Betty Friedan, Bella Abzug, Gloria Steinem, and Letty Cotton Pogrebin, helped to launch second wave feminism. Many.
Right, and so the way they're explaining it, because the article that I was looking for, right, and I actually have it printed out, but I couldn't find it. So the article that I have, that I've had for years now, explains that they were the ones that started the feminist movement. But when I'm reading this, of course, it's saying that they just had a hand in it, just was like part of it or whatever. It says Jewish women, including these names or whatever the ladies that was named, helped to launch the second wave of feminism. Many younger Jewish women pioneered radical feminism later in the decade. Read on.
Comic-Con. In some women's liberation collectives, as many as 2/3 to 3/4 of members were Jewish.
Right. So that's more than half. That's more than half. Pushing black women to, destroy the black household. You know what I mean? Because also with the feminism is giving women the courage to do everything without a man. Right? That's it. It's giving you the courage to do everything without a man. It's brainwashing you into believing that you can do it without a man. And now that black women have been brainwashed to believing that they can raise a black household without a man.
Right.
Do you see how these niggas, Salaki from our language, do you see how the young boys and young girls, and not to say that it's all on the black woman, I'm just talking about her right now because it's the black, but I'm not gonna denounce or renounce, our role in it, but we just
right.
talking about the black woman. You see how kids is coming out of the black household right now, man.
Comic-Con.
Just under the tutelage of a woman.
Right.
Without the man being in the household. And the child is only able to learn all of being a man from her. Or even a woman. Now, it doesn't even have to be because we know that you need a black man to raise a black child, a young black boy. But even a young black woman, and nowadays raising a young black woman is not working out neither. I'm watching a lot of. I was looking at my Facebook even just today, and the girl had her damn daughter with like the same outfit she had on. I'm like, what are you doing? Like you have nothing to the imagination. You should not be having her like that.
Right.
You should have her dressed the way you dress. She should not be acting the way you acting, bro. You horrible.
Right.
You think you an Instagram model. I'm an Instagram model, and that's what you teaching your daughter to be vain.
Right.
Only look for a man if he has a certain amount of dollars in his pocket. But that man that got them dollars that your daughter wants, is gonna go upside her goddamn head.
Right.
He going upside her head. You want this money? I'm going upside your head for this money. I'm gonna treat you like hell for this money.
Right.
I'm gonna do everything that you. and then now you face to live with it because your mom had taught you. That's all she taught. That's the only way you can get money is through him. She
Right.
taught you no other skills.
Right.
To use that.
Right. Salaki, that's just like that Miss Chalet story that Officer Tazayawan was bringing out about the what was it? Something about Compton. The name of it, it's on Netflix, but that's what that mom was teaching Michelle A. Like you got to put up with it. He gonna hit you. You got to put up with it and all that nonsense. Right.
It's okay because your mom didn't taught you to deal with it.
Right.
She didn't taught you to deal with it. If you want that Gucci bag,
right.
You want that Chanel purse, you gonna deal with me going upside your head. And you and the only thing you got to offer me is some Gucci. So you know, it's the only thing you got to offer me.
Right.
Is some goodies. You can get that. A man can get that anywhere. What's so special about you? See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's very important for brothers and sisters to be in these classes.
Right.
Right. So that you can teach it, so you can raise up your children the way that they're supposed to be raised up.
Damn right.
So now a young man can teach his daughter about the world and how it is. You teach her about men and how men are, and the correct man to get, and the man that you should not be dating. Not to say that, not to, at least give her the best possible. At least give her the best possible start. You know what I mean? Because that's not to say that any man can treat you bad, but at least you're looking for a man. At least you're looking from this group that, for the most part, all of these niggas gonna treat you good. You know what I mean? Versus this group, like she following her mom to the club or something. And you ain't gonna be. It's very rare you're gonna meet somebody that's gonna stay with you 20 years. If you meet them in the club,
right?
You know what I mean? Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Those relationships don't last more than a night. Maybe two. You might double dip twice. But how many brothers is really triple dipping? After you meet that woman, you sleep with her once, you sleep with her twice. How many times that's it. You off to the next one. You're in the club every week. Next Saturday, I'm looking for a new something to conquer. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a new conquest.
Right.
Right. So it's very important that we, be in these classes so that we learn how to be a brother, learn how to be a sister, and then we impart that to our kids. Right. They see how we interact with one another. They see how the sisters interact when the little young girls are in here. They see how women are supposed to be. These young brothers, they see how we interact. They see how we joke, how we are, you know what I mean? And then they know how to be a man, right? By seeing strong black men. So again, I'm over my time. And with that being said, I'd like to pass the class over to Precinct Officer Latazi Yales.
Okay.
Oh, we're not doing no caps? No, we're not doing no caps? Not no more.
All right, CPK security announcements. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they offer them for 6 months. They are to be student only. They are here to learn and shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in Hebrew, Ma'ashara. 10% for every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Priest funds, free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory. It's whatever amount you like to donate. Whatever size bottle you would like to donate. Take both. All right. Upcoming holy convocations. Upcoming holy convocation, we have the Passover. April 15th in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Be there. All right. It's going to be a glorious time. And before you leave to go to the Passover, Make sure all leavening is out of your house, because when you come back, we will be in the midst of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is on the 16th. Passover is on the 15th, which is a Friday. 16th, the very next day, we will start the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which we will be having in Cocoa Beach, Florida also. All right, so make sure you have all leavening out of your house so that you won't be in violation of the Lord's commandments. All right. And if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. With that being said, men of Israel, Elijah means to stand. Men of Israel, Elijah Shabbat, Elijah, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua Barak Thumb. Yahweh Matah means hands down. Star, we see to turn. Sisters, Elijah. Men of Israel, Elijah Shabbat, Elijah, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Al Thumb by Hashem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shemar Al Thumb by Hashem Yahushua.
Yahweh Matah, class dismissed.
Okay, let me get your tablet so they can put the chairs.
All right. Yeah, you better.